Good morning everyone. Today I am presenting an article Differential Diagnosis of Cartilaginous Lesions of Bone. This study was done by David Suster et al. From Department of Pathology, Harvard Medical School, Boston. The article is taken from Journal Archives of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine in year 2020. Introduction. Cartilage forming tumors comprise one of the most common bone tumors with enchondroma and osteochondroma encompassing the overwhelming majority of benign cartilaginous lesions, and low-grade chondrosarcoma being the most common malignant cartilaginous tumor. These tumors are characterized by the formation of cartilaginous matrix and can sometimes display overlapping histological features which may pose a problem for diagnosis. In the WHO 4th edition classification, cartilaginous tumors were classified as either benign, such as osteochondroma, and enchondroma, intermediate, that is locally aggressive or rarely metastasizing, such as chondromyxoid fibroma, chondroblastoma, and atypical cartilaginous tumor or chondrosarcoma grade 1, or malignant, that is chondrosarcoma grade 2 and 3, and other high grade chondrosarcomas. Overall, benign cartilaginous lesions behave in an indolent fashion and do not require treatment unless they are symptomatic or cause functional impairment, such as restricted movements or complications from fractures. The clinical management and prognosis depend heavily on the location and the pathological diagnosis. These tumors may display characteristic clinical and radiological features that allow for the distinction. However, the histological overlap in the well-differentiated lesion can preclude a definitive diagnosis, and some studies have shown significant inter-observer variability even among orthopedic pathologists. Osteochondroma. It is a benign cartilage cap tumor arising on the surface of bones and is the most common benign cartilage tumor of bone. More than 80% of osteochondromas are solitary. They are usually diagnosed by the second decade of life. There is a slight male predominance. They typically arise in the area of metaphysis of long bones derived from endochondral ossification, most commonly the distal femur, proximal tibia, and proximal humerus. This is the plain film radiograph demonstrating a well-defined exostosis, which is in continuous with the marrow cavity and extends from the cortex of the distal tibial diaphysis and grows away from the joint. This is the axial computed tomography scan of the distal tibia, which is showing a pedunculated shape with a stalk and a marrow space and cortical continuity. This is the image of gross photograph of osteochondroma, which is showing a well-formed hyaline cartilage cap with underlying newly formed cancellous bone. This is a microscopic image of osteochondroma showing a dome-shaped cartilaginous cap with underlying enchondral ossification with a thin fibrous sheath of periosteum overlying the cartilaginous cap. Multiple hereditary exostosis or osteochondromatosis. It is an autosomal dominant condition in which patients develop multiple osteochondromas by the second decade of life. Approximately 60% of patients have a family history. Multiple hereditary exostosis has an incidence of approximately 1 in 50,000 and in rare patients presents as a part of a separate genetic syndrome such as trichorhinophalangeal syndrome or Potocki-Shaffer syndrome. Multiple hereditary exostosis carries an increased risk of malignant transformation, reportedly ranging from 0.2% to 25%. As with solitary osteochondromas, the same clinicopathological features are used to evaluate patients for possible malignant transformation. It is now known that germline alteration in EXT1 and EXT2 gene drive the disease. Similar to non-hereditary osteochondromas, aberration of AXT gene lead to dysfunctional protein exostosin 1 and exostosin 2 and the subsequent failure of the heparin sulfate polymerization required for normal cartilaginous development. Image A is plain film radiograph demonstrating numerous osteochondroma centered about the distal femur and proximal tibia in a patient with multiple hereditary exostosis. Image B is gross photograph demonstrating a secondary chondrosarcomas arising in association with pre-existing osteochondroma. The residual osteochondroma is difficult to identify as it is replaced by a large lobulated cartilaginous lesion bulging into surrounding soft tissue. Enchondroma. It is the second most common benign primary hyaline cartilage forming tumor of bone, accounting for 12% to 24% of primary bone tumors. These tumors typically present during the third to fourth decade of life and are the most frequently located within the distal appendicular skeleton. They arise in the bones that form by enchondral ossification. Genetic aberration described in enchondromas include mutations in isoscetate dehydrogenase IDH1 or IDH2, which are found in approximately 40% of solitary lesions with even higher rates in patients with multiple enchondromas. Image A is a plain film radiograph of the distal femur showing an enchondroma with an uniform distribution of calcification and well-formed arc-like pattern. Image B is showing plain film radiograph of the right hand showing a well circumscribed ovoid lesion bone rimming individual nodules of cartilage. Image C is a gross photograph of enchondroma showing a tan white cartilaginous lesion with a clear demarcation from residual normal cortex, and there is a focal thinning of cortex overlying the lesion. Image D is microscopic view showing benign appearing chondrocytes with focal areas of scattered calcification and bone deposition in the periphery of the nodule. Enchondromatosis. Multiple enchondromas present typically as manifestation of either two related clinical syndromes, Ollier disease and Maffucci syndrome, or as a part of an unrelated syndrome, metachondromatosis. These disorders are rare. Although the tumors developed by these patients are benign, there is an increased risk of malignant transformation. In all three syndromes, patients present at an early age, frequently being diagnosed with multiple enchondromas during early childhood. Maffucci syndrome differs from Ollier disease by the presence of vascular lesion, most commonly spindle cell hemangiomas. Both disorders are caused by somatic mosaic mutations of IDH1 or IDH2. The short tubular bones of the hands and feet are frequently involved, although the tumors may be found within the long bones, scapulae, pelvis, or some flat bones. Image A is showing plain film radiograph of the bilateral feet in a patient with Ollier disease, showing a multiple enchondromas with prominent deformation of digits. Image B is showing gross photograph from a patient with Ollier disease, showing a secondary chondrosarcoma arising in association with multiple enchondromas within the medullary cavity. This is the microscopic image showing a secondary chondrosarcoma arising in a patient with Ollier disease. There is increased chondrocyte cellularity and the tumor shows a permeation in the pre-existing bony trabeculae. Chondromyxoid fibroma. It is a rare cartilaginous tumor that was previously classified as an intermediate biological potential tumor. Microscopically, it is characterized by lobulated chondromyxoid areas, multinucleated giant cells, and in approximately 25% of tumors, scattered coarse calcification. These tumors usually arise in the second to third decade of life, show a slight male predilection, and typically involve the long bones. Recurrent fusion of the GRM1 gene has been implicated in the pathogenesis of chondromyxoid fibroma. Upregulation of glutamate metabotropic receptor through promoter swapping and gene fusion events has been showing to be specific driver event in the development of these tumors. DNA microarray study comparing chondromyxoid fibroma to chondroblastoma did not show any differential gene expression in cartilage related genes. However, higher expression levels of CD166, cyclin D1, P16 were seen in these tumors as compared to high-grade central chondrosarcoma. This is the plain film radiograph of chondromyxoid fibroma of the ulna showing an eccentric, expansile, radiolucent, multilobulated lesion with internal septations. This is a microscopic image of chondromyxoid fibroma showing a bland appearing population of stellate spindle cells that are embedded within a grey chondromyxoid stroma. Focal lobular areas of chondroid tissue are present with an area of adjacent increased cellularity. This is the microscopic image showing chondromyxoid fibroma with characteristic coarse purple calcification within the chondroid tissue. The differential diagnosis includes chondroblastoma, enchondroma, low-grade chondrosarcoma, and the exceedingly rare chondromyxoid fibroma like osteosarcoma. Chondroblastoma. It is a rare tumor with a chondrogenic differentiation and was previously classified as having intermediate biological potential. It typically affects young, skeletally immature individuals. Chondroblastomas are more common in males and typically arise in epiphyses of long tubular bones. The peak incidence is during second decade of life. K36M mutation and H3F3B gene, which encodes for histone H3.3, have recently been described in chondroblastoma and can help distinguish these lesions among histologic mimics. A mutation-specific antibody against the H3F3B K36M mutation, as found in most chondroblastomas, has been shown to be diagnostically helpful in separating this lesion from other primary bone tumors. Differential diagnosis: giant cell tumor of bone, aneurysmal bone cyst, chondromyxoid fibroma, and chondroblastoma like osteosarcoma. Image A is showing plain film radiograph of chondroblastoma of the proximal tibia with a well circumscribed lytic lesion with sclerotic margin. Image B is showing corresponding coronal T1 weighted magnetic resonance imaging of proximal tibia, showing a small circular mass having well circumscribed margins that extend to base of the articular surface. This is the microscopic image showing a monotonous cell population with admixed multinucleated giant cells and a characteristic eosinophilic material. Image D is showing epithelioid cell population with eosinophilic cytoplasm, scattered reniform nuclei, and prominent nuclear folds. Low-grade chondrosarcoma. It is defined as malignant cartilage matrix producing tumor. It comprises a heterogeneous family of tumors which includes conventional chondrosarcoma, secondary chondrosarcoma, periosteal chondrosarcoma, clear cell chondrosarcoma, dedifferentiated chondrosarcoma, and mesenchymal chondrosarcoma. Conventional chondrosarcoma is a primary chondrosarcoma which arises in the absence of a precursor lesion, whereas secondary chondrosarcoma is associated with a pre-existing bone tumor such as enchondroma or osteochondroma. Primary central chondrosarcoma accounts for approximately 20% of malignant bone tumor and is the most common malignant cartilage forming tumor of the bone. Primary central chondrosarcoma makes up approximately 90% of all chondrosarcoma, with the other 10% being of the several histological variants mentioned above. Secondary chondrosarcoma is subdivided into secondary central chondrosarcoma and secondary peripheral chondrosarcoma. Secondary chondrosarcomas have a bimodal age distribution as they can arise at the earliest age in syndromic patients with Olea disease, Maffucci syndrome, and multiple hereditary exostosis, but can also occur later. As mentioned previously, syndromic patients have a higher incidence of malignant transformation as noted up to 40% in patients with Ollier disease or Maffucci syndrome and up to 25% of patients with multiple hereditary exostosis. Genetically, chondrosarcomas of primary and secondary type are characterized by mutations in the isolated dehydrogenase isoforms IDH1 and IDH2, which have been detected in approximately 50% of the secondary central chondrosarcomas. Peripheral chondrosarcomas appear to show similar EXT1 and EXT2 aberrations to solitary and hereditary osteochondromas. Image A is of plain film radiograph showing central chondrosarcoma of the pelvis. There is a mixed lytic and sclerotic lesion of the right ilium with expansion of bone and irregular borders. Image B is showing corresponding coronal computed tomography image which demonstrates a expansile lesion with thinning of the cortex and focal areas of central mineralization. This is the gross photograph of the low-grade chondrosarcoma of the pelvis. There is a lobulated grey-white glistening tumor located within the medullary surface with a focal thinning of the adjacent cortical bone. This is the microscopic image showing an infiltrative appearance of a low-grade chondrosarcoma with encasement of pre-existing bony trabeculae and focal extension through cortex into the surrounding soft tissue. Abstract introduction. Cartilaginous tumors represent one of the most common tumors of the bone. Management of these tumors include observation, curettage, surgical excision or resection depending on their location and whether they are benign or malignant. They can diagnostically challenging, particularly in small biopsies. In rare cases, benign tumors may undergo malignant transformation. Objective: to review common cartilaginous tumors including in patients with multiple hereditary exostosis, Ollier disease and Maffucci syndrome, and to discuss problems in the interpretation of well-differentiated cartilaginous neoplasms of the bone. Conclusion: this review has examined primary well-differentiated cartilaginous lesions of bone, including their differential diagnosis and approach to the management. Because of the frequent overlap in the histological features, particularly between low-grade chondrosarcoma and enchondroma, evaluation of well-differentiated cartilaginous lesions should be undertaken in conjunction with thorough review of the imaging studies. Thank you.